Alright, I'm letting you know right now at the top of this video, I am not talking about the new Smash Bros. Game in this video. This is my Nintendo E3 conference reaction video, and yes, Smash Bros. Made up almost the majority of their press conference, but I am not going to talk about Smash Bros. In this video because there was so much to talk about with Smash Bros. There were so many things that they discussed, so many things that we need to go through and point at, so many feelings I have about Smash Bros. I need to give it its own video. Yes, that's going to be the only game through all of E3 2018 that's going to get its own video because, dear God, does it deserve it. So that will be coming out a little bit after this video does. So don't worry, there is a video dedicated entirely to Smash Bros. But I knew that if I did not give them their own video, I would be racing through every single other announcement that Nintendo had just so I could get to Smash Bros. Which is kind of what Nintendo did during their own conference. So this video is just me talking about every single other thing that Nintendo announced. And I gotta say, even without Smash Bros, there were some pretty decent surprises in here. Alright, getting into the actual conference itself, Nintendo kicked things off with kind of a declaration. Nintendo for a long time has been known as the cute, family-friendly, all-ages gaming console. And that's great. I'm glad that they make games like that. But with the Switch, they've really been trying to come in here and go, no. We don't just make games like that. We want to let everyone know we have a variety of stuff. And they kicked this thing off with something called Daemon X Machina. And this thing looks badass. It is a giant mech fighter game. It reminded me of this game that I played a lot on the Dreamcast when I was a kid. I cannot remember the name of it, but I remember that I loved it, and this really did kind of remind me of it. It wasn't as bright and colorful as that game was. This really did have like a darker earth tone to it. But yeah, the graphics look great in this thing. It's got this awesome cel-shaded look to it. There's a moment in which a giant mech is bursting out of the clouds, and that was just stunning to me. But yeah, you were playing in this smaller mech that is very fast and can fly through the air, and you shoot out many missiles all at once, and you're going up against giant city-sized mechs. This looks like it could be incredibly fun. I'm hoping they don't put in there like mandatory motion controls, because as I was watching this, I was like, I could totally see you having to hold the Switch and like move your guy like this. If they want to put that in there, fine, but give me a way to turn that off, because I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. But yeah, this looked incredibly fun, but also incredibly addictive. Like, if it's nothing but just you going up against giant boss fights over and over again, you just going up against giant mechs like this, I can see that being the kind of thing that you take on the go. That's the thing you have to remember about the Switch. It's made to be taken on the go. I can see me sitting on the subway and getting one boss fight done between here and when I go into the city. That actually seems like it is a perfect game for just sitting down to play for that amount of time. Next up, we got a trailer for the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Guys, I've tried with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I know it's got fans. I know the people who like it love it, so I'm glad that you guys are getting this. I just could not get into that game, but hey man, I don't have to like everything that Nintendo puts out. As long as someone likes it, and someone likes Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm glad you guys are getting more Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But you know what I do like? Pokemon. And we have already had announced that Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is coming to the Switch, is basically going to be you going through the original Kanto region again. You going through, you've got those original 150 Pokemon to catch all over again. Got the original 8 gym leaders to fight all over again. But there's going to be some different stuff in there. For one, it's not going to be on your little Game Boy anymore. It's now going to be on your big TV, and the graphics look really darn cool in this. In fact, you'll actually be able to take all of your Pokemon with you and have them walk behind you as you're walking around. That is an adorable touch to add into this game. I saw some gameplay of this being recorded at E3, but you got your little Charmander back there running around. That's adorable. But you also have your Pikachu on your shoulder. You'll have your Eevee on your shoulder. My wife is in love with the idea of having an Eevee on her shoulder, so I know she is incredibly excited about this game. So we are clearly going to be getting both versions of this game. I will be getting the Pikachu version, she'll be getting the Eevee version. But yeah, it just looks really darn cute and fun. This looks like basically an experiment on their part, because for years people have been wanting just a flat-out Pokemon game, not like some kind of a side game, a flat-out Pokemon game. Go around, you catch Pokemon, Pokeballs, and you fight the gym leaders on the TV. This looks like the big experiment for that. but it's also tying into Pokemon Go, which I still play a decent chunk of Pokemon Go. I still go around and capture Pokemon every single day in that game. I still take it out and hatch eggs as I'm walking around the city. So yeah, I actually really dig this idea of being able to transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go into this game. I would like to be able to take all the guys that I have captured on my phone and actually be able to see them up there on the big screen. That actually sounds like a really cool idea. Now, here's where Nintendo makes its money. They have announced that there is a special Pokeball Joy-Con that comes with this. In the game, you can throw Pokeballs by just shaking the Joy-Con. That's great. Don't have to buy anything else. But if you want to buy this Pokeball Joy-Con, then you can have a little Pokeball that actually feels like you're throwing a Pokeball at your screen in order to capture these Pokemon. That is going to lead to so many broken television sets. You know, so many people are going to let that thing fly. They're going to forget to put the wrist strap on. It's going to fly at their TV, just crack it wide open. Especially little kids who really want to get into it and really just want to chuck that thing. Oh, I see this going so wrong. But I heard it was gonna be like $50. I was like, man, listen, it's a cute idea, but I'm not spending $50 on this. They announced at this that if you spend that $50 to get yourself this Pokeball Joy-Con, it already comes with the Pokemon inside. The mythical, legendary 151st Pokemon, Mew. Yeah, you know, the crazy hard to find, you had to do all kinds of weird stuff and go to special events to capture him in the original Pokemon game. Mew is just gonna be here. You can just buy him for $50. You greedy mother... I'm trying not to curse so much because I did so much in the very first one of these videos that I did for EA. Oh, you know you have us over a barrel on that one. Oh, you know that we want that Mew, and there's no other way to get it other than spending 50 freaking bucks on this thing. Oh, that is dirty. Dirty. But okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because speaking of games that were on the handheld system that people have been wanting to see up on their big screens, I know that Fire Emblem had always had a home on the regular Nintendo consoles for a while, but I never started playing them until they moved over to the handheld systems. So every Fire Emblem that I ever played was on the handhelds, and I love those handheld Fire Emblem games. And they have announced the next Fire Emblem game is coming to the Switch, called Fire Emblem Three Houses. Yeah, they're going Game of Thrones on this one. And I looked at the graphics on this thing, and it was like, okay, it looks kind of like regular Fire Emblem. I mean, the graphics look a lot smoother, a lot cleaner, because it is on a better console, but it's still you roaming around this big old map. You're that tiny figure going over there, and then you gotta go up and you gotta battle this thing. Let's see what it actually looks like when you start the battle. When you start the battle, all of a sudden, the character you're controlling gets an army behind them, and you're now commanding an army. Oh, that's different. That's really taking advantage of how the Switch is a much more powerful console than any of the other Nintendo handheld systems. You can now do stuff like that in the game. So yeah, I'm incredibly excited for this. Granted, I never love any of the Fire Emblem games until I start playing them, because the reason why I love them is for the crazy cast of characters that you end up running into and the weird relationships that you end up forming with them. I love that they basically have social links like in the Persona games in here. You get to just talk to these characters and get to know more about their past, and the more you get to know about their past, the stronger they become in battle. I love when games do stuff like that. So since I haven't really met any of the characters yet, you know, I'm not really in love with the game yet, but it's a Fire Emblem game. They've got a really good track record with me. I know that I will be in love with this game by the time that I actually pick it up. But alright, stepping back a little bit, the thing that they announced right before this was Super Mario Party, which I knew it was only a matter of time until that came around. If you have a Nintendo console, you have to have a Mario Party on there. But I was interested in what they were going to do different with Mario Party on the Switch, because the Switch is kind of designed for Mario Party. Mario Party, the whole point of it, it's a party. You play it with your friends. The Switch is designed to pick up, take out your house, take it over to your friend's place. So were you going to take advantage of this fact? And sure enough, they did. Now, I need to hear more information about this. I need to see what you can do without multiple Switches. I assume it works exactly the same, but they showed that if you have multiple Switches, whenever you go into a game, and it's a game that involves like a big arena, you can take your Switches and stack them together like dominoes. You can move them together and link them together in different ways, and then just draw a line with your finger across one Switch into the other, and then it turns however you arranged your Switches into the map for that game. That is some crazy sorcery right there. The fact that you now get to control how the board is built with your switches is such an ingenious new direction for this franchise to go. Again, I wonder how many people are actually going to be doing that, because I wonder how many people are going to have friends who also have Switches who also want to play Mario Party. And if you are all playing Mario Party, do you each have to own your own copy of Mario Party? That's a big question for me, because yeah, I know lots of people with Switches. I don't know a lot of them who would buy Mario Party. Heck, I don't even know if I would buy Mario Party. But if one of them had Mario Party, and they could link it up to my system so that for just the course of our one game, I could use my Switch to play Mario Party with them, I'd be down with that. That'd be great. I've seen other games do that. I mean, earlier this year, A Way Out, which was a co-op game, yeah, they went back in there and changed it so that now if you play with someone online, the person you're playing with online doesn't have to actually own that game. They can still play with you even if they don't own the game. So yeah, it is possible, it can be done, but will Nintendo do it? That's the question. Because if they don't do it, they get more money. Now, speaking of games that people love to play with friends, and they're great to take anywhere, they announced that starting today, Nintendo, you are the masters at saying, hey, it's available now. Starting today, Fortnite is available on Switch. Now, I have mentioned before, I have tried playing Fortnite, it's just not for me. I've tried playing PUBG, and I've come to the decision I just don't really like Battle Royale games. They are just not my type of thing. However, they are currently the biggest thing in the entire world, and Fortnite is the king of them. Fortnite is ruling the entire gaming industry right now, and considering it's a free game, that's really impressive. But everyone is playing Fortnite. Every time that I go on Twitch, it is always the highest viewed game on Twitch. Everyone wants to play Fortnite. It is also insanely addictive. So taking the game that everyone loves and everyone is playing and putting it on your console, that's smart. That's a good idea. That seems like a no-brainer. However, you also took one of the most addictive games out there and you put it on a console that you can take anywhere. That's genius. That is something you can't do with your PC. That's something you can't do with your PlayStation. You can take this thing anywhere. There is a mobile version of Fortnite for your phone because people want to play it everywhere. However, I think most people, if given the choice between playing it on little tiny phone, nice comfy size Switch, they will choose the nice comfy size Switch. So this was a perfect decision on their part. Taking a game that everyone is loving and everyone is spending money on and everyone is craving more of and putting it on the console that they can take anywhere, including over to their friends, so that when they go and they play with their friends, they can all sit around and play Fortnite together. That sounds like a great time. That sounds like what the Switch was designed for. The Fortnite was meant to be on the Switch from the very start. It's here now. Good for you, Nintendo. The only thing that you could have done better with this, only way that this could have been a better deal for you, is that, as I said, being able to take this on the go, that's a great incentive for people to pick up the Switch. That's a great incentive for people to only play this on the Switch. Great job on your part. Fortnite is all about fun and just goofy, like, gameplay. What if you just said, oh, and by the way, you know how in Rocket League you can put little Mario and Luigi hats on your cars? We're going to let you dress up your characters as Mario characters. You're going to be able to get Samus's Buster Cannon. You're going to be able to get, like, little wolf ears, so that way you look like Fox McCloud. You're going to get the Mario and Luigi hats. You can dress up like Princess Peach. You can just put, like, little cosmetic stuff like that in the game and say you can only get it on the Switch version. That would be that last little tiny cherry on top of this deal for you. Next up, speaking of cherries on top, man, my segues are on point today. Speaking of cherries and games that are fun to play with your friends, they announced that Overcooked 2 is coming to the Switch. I loved Overcooked, so Nintendo, I kind of love you right now for making sure I got Overcooked 2, because this isn't announced for any other console, at least not yet. They might announce it for the other consoles in the upcoming days, but at the moment, it looks like a Switch exclusive. This is what I want Nintendo to do. I want them to find those crazy fun indie games that everyone was talking about and everyone was enjoying, and come in there and go, hey, make the next one of those just for us. That is what Nintendo needs to do. Find those fan favorite games. Find those games that have those diehard fans who want whatever the next installment of it is, And sure, they have to buy a Switch if they want that next installment. This was genius on their part. Overcooked is a multiplayer game, which again, any multiplayer game is great for the Switch because you can pick it up and take it to your friend's place. And with Overcooked 2, they said you'll be able to play locally with your friends. You don't even need to go online. If your other friend, you don't want to connect to the internet with your Switch, just go to your friend and you can play it right there with them. I love this. I love this idea so much. But Overcooked 2 is this game in which you are going to have to basically go from one location to the next, cooking whatever the meal is that gives you, but it's all on a timer, and just the action gets crazy because every single level has weird traps to it that you have to maneuver around. Some levels, the lights go on and off. There are rats roaming around just stealing your food from you. There are conveyor belts that go in weird directions that you have to use to pass the food to your friends so that they can prepare a different part of it. It sounds like a crazy game that sounds more tedious than fun. It's one of the most fun games I've ever played. I had a blast with Overcooked. So I'm so happy that we're getting a second one of these, and I listened to the Nintendo Treehouse afterwards in which they talked about this, and they said that the plot of this is that the Onion King uses the Necronomicon, get it, Nom, the Book of the Bread. Man, there is an Evil Dead reference in this Overcooked game. It's like it was made just for me. But now he's summoning out zombies, and you have to make food to feed these zombies. This game is so fun and so charming, and I'm so happy we're getting another one. Next we're going to talk about Hollow Knight, and this wasn't an announcement. We already knew that Hollow Knight was coming to the Switch, but I had been waiting on it because I keep looking at Hollow Knight, and it looks incredibly cute, it looks incredibly fun, and I could play it on my PC, but if I have the option between playing on my PC or playing on a console and seeing it up there on my big TV, I prefer to wait for it to come to the console. And so far, Hollow Knight is not on any console. It's only on the PC. And the Switch came in here and said, yeah, don't worry. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it on the Switch. It's gonna be with us. Don't worry about that. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And they talked about it here. And I thought, okay, thank God they're finally talking about it. Which means they have to give me a release date. But if they're giving me the release date today, that means it's not gonna be until like, I don't know, October or something. It's available now. They came in here and they did that thing that Nintendo is the king of. That thing that I love Nintendo for doing so much, in which they say, hey, you know that cool thing you're waiting for? It's available now. So as soon as I am done here, I'm gonna go and play Hollow Knight. Okay, now the last thing that they showed off today was honestly kind of the most upsetting part of their entire show. Because they then showed off a metric ton of things. They showed off Minecraft, they showed off Ark, they showed off Wolfenstein, they showed off so many other things that I didn't even know was coming out. Like, what the heck is this Paladins game? I'd never even heard of that. Oh my gosh, but it's available now? That feels like you should probably talk about this thing. They showed off so much. They showed off that Dragon Ball FighterZ, the biggest fighting game at the moment in the world, is now on the Switch, or it will be coming to the Switch by the end of the year. Just threw it out there, because all of this was just bam, 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 bam. Didn't show off a full trailer for each, just the quickest snippet of an announcement. Just bam, 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 bam. Just one thing onto the next. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, we already talked about that at another show, but it's still coming. Just letting you know. Bam, here you go. Ark, what the hell is Ark? I don't know. I'm not gonna show it to you. Just here, know that's coming. They even have a Minecraft version of Ark, and that's coming as well. Just Dance, you probably heard about that from someone else. All that Ubisoft stuff like Starlink, that Rabbids Mario, Donkey Kong DLC, screw all that noise. It was already announced. Just zip, 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 zip. You could have turned this into like another 20 minutes of this show. This was a 42-minute long show, and half this thing was dedicated to Smash Bros. You could have turned this into a full hour, showing off like a little extra gameplay footage of Smash Bros there, like into the Smash Bros thing by saying, hey, here's two people actually fighting each other with our two new characters, Inkling and Ridley. Let's watch them go head to head. Bam, done. And then that would fill up like a little extra time, get the Smash Bros portion to a full half hour, then fill up the rest of the half hour of all the announcements. Just by talking about these things, you could have had a solid hour-long show. They didn't care. They're just like, yeah, just throw it out there. Again, Dragon Ball FighterZ, biggest fighting game in the world at the moment, coming to the Switch. That is huge. Boop. Just a real quick little boop. Just bop that off their shoulders. Didn't mean anything to them. I don't know if that was gutsy. I don't know if that was them being like arrogant, like, yeah, no, this matters us. Or if it was them being like, we all know what you're here for and we don't have much time. Zip this along because we know you want to get to Smash Bros. We know that's what you're here for. Let's just get to it. And if that's the case, I kind of almost respect them for that, for being honest about it and just being like, hey man, this is what's happening. But I would rather, again, have had them turn this into a full hour with a half an hour for the announcement, half an hour for the Smash Bros. And just tell people, hey, the Smash Bros. Thing is its own thing, starts in half an hour. It was kind of upsetting that they didn't go into more details about any of this stuff. Especially because, like, I like the SNK fighting games. I am a big fan of them. The last King of Fighters game made me fall in love with this world. I've been going back and buying up some of the older SNK fighting games. I am into those games now. And they have an SNK exclusive game coming to the Switch. It's not coming to anybody else. That is big because the Switch has been trying to please pretty much every type of gamer out there, but the fighting game fans still look at it as like, yeah, there's nothing there for me. Maybe when Smash Bros. Comes. Okay, Smash Bros. Is coming. Alright, I might check that out. Oh, Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming? Okay, but I can still play Dragon Ball FighterZ on another console. Oh, SNK has a brand new game. I like SNK, and it's exclusive to you guys. Oh, well then I need to check this out. And there's like, they just zipped right past it. This was the day that they announced the release date for that. The release date for that finally got announced at this. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it until I went back and watched the thing again and saw that's coming out in September. I feel like that's a game that will get way more people into your console because, again, it's a fighting game exclusive to you. Seems like you should talk about that a little bit more. Heck, they showed off that Mega Man 11 is coming to the Switch. And I honestly don't think, I could be wrong on this, but I don't think that we've actually gotten a release date on it yet. I know that we just got the gameplay trailer a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember seeing a release date at the end of that. I could be completely wrong about that, but if we did get a release date at the end of that, that means that this was the first time anyone said the release date of that game. Again, zipped on past that thing. Yeah, that was kind of, again, I don't know how to put into words. I don't know how I feel about what they did at the end of all this. Because on the one hand, it's a really good tease. It's a really good way of saying, stay tuned. But I'm already tuned in. I'm here. This is E3. This is what I came here for. And you just zip past so many things. But again, on the other hand, you're zipping past it so you can get to Smash, which, in all honesty, is the main thing we all came here for. And I know it's the main thing you guys came here to this video for. So again, sorry, it is going to be in the next video. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right here and start recording that next video. So come back in a couple hours when the Smash Bros. Video goes up. Thank you guys for tuning in, and also a big thank you to everyone who has been joining me all week long over on Twitch at twitch.tv/ProfessorThorgy as we've been watching these conferences live. And if you didn't happen to join us for any of those, you can go on Twitch, you can go to my videos list, and you can see my live reactions to some of these. They're actually quite fun, and the chat has always been a good time. So again, thank you guys who have been joining us over on Twitch. Again, at twitch.tv/ProfessorThorgy. And if you want to know when we go live on Twitch, you can just follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/ProfessorThorgy. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I gotta get to recording the next Nintendo video.